conservative new media viewers and JLin fans around the world. What is up? It is me, PFV, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. We are here to talk about an incredible event that took place tonight or today in Taipei, Taiwan. And I mean, look, I got to tell you guys right now, I'm a fairly even-keeled person, but I might get choked up making this video because, wow, I just, excuse me. What JLin was able to do in this situation, under this circumstance, with the amount of, pressure on him was unbelievable. I just can't believe how resilient he is. And now I'm all emotional. You guys, I made the video earlier today talking about Jeremy and what he means to the Asian community around the world, what he means to the Asian American community. And people are in the comments telling me they're crying listening to the video. Now you got me crying, which is definitely a feat. But I'm not going to do this video like I do most videos. There's going to be some scatteredness in this video, because I'm not doing it like I do the other videos. I don't want to take the time to go through everything and do it the way I usually do it, because it wouldn't be done for another 3 hours. And I know you guys want to talk about this game. Personally, I want to talk about this game. And it's not about all of the statistics and everything in this game, although Jeremy's statistics were amazing. What this game was about was what we talked about in the earlier video from today, regarding what Jeremy means as a symbol for people around the world, particularly those of Asian heritage, but not just those of Asian heritage. When I talked about Jeremy and what he meant to the community in Asia and for Asian Americans, I forgot to mention of how much he means to people of faith, how much he means to people who just are looking for a good role model. Again, I'm not putting anybody else down. I'm not saying there's no other role models out there. But you're talking about a person who seems to be a terrific young man, a caring young man, an educated young man who's also a tremendous athlete. This guy's got everything. Okay, maybe he's not going to be the next Michael Jordan, but he's very, very good at basketball. That's why he's in the NBA. This game, the crowd reaction, was the pinnacle of Jeremy's career, as I mentioned in the earlier video. If Jeremy never played another game in the NBA, this game would stand out, and it would be enough, because he demonstrated everything about himself and his ability in this game. You see in the title, Linsanity Reborn. It was reborn. Jeremy went off in this game. He finished up with, look at my stats, 17 points, and I have to see the number of assists and such that he had. 17 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. He shot 6 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point range, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 steals, 1 block shot, 3 turnovers, 5 personal fouls. His plus minus was -5, and his efficiency number was 22, which again is the good numbers subtracted by the bad numbers. His efficiency number was tied for the best in the game for both teams. Now, James Harden scored more points than Jeremy in this game, but Jeremy was more efficient. he was more effective in what he was doing than James Harden was. Look, the reason why I'm emotional and everything was because Jeremy came through again. The same way he did in Linsanity 1.0, the same way he did in big spots last year during the regular season. He's going through all of this stuff, talking about being demoted, losing his starting spot. He's in Taiwan. He's expected to perform. Do you know how many people would do poorly in a game like this if they were in Jeremy's position? Many, 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 many people. But not Jeremy. That's why I'm emotional, because you can't shake this guy. You can't break this guy. And I'm not emotional for me. I'm emotional for him. I'm emotional for his family. I'm emotional for his fans. And I'm a fan. But it's bigger than that. Jeremy was put on a silver platter tonight and expected to perform under incredible amount of pressure. And boy, did he perform. And it makes me emotional because, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. This is what it's all about. And because you have somebody like JLin, who is beloved around the world, and he means so much as a symbol for so many people, as we talked about in the earlier video. It's just, I don't want to sound wrong here, but it's just beautiful for him to be able to come through like this, given everything. It's just incredible. And this is part of why we like him so much. There's a whole bunch of people out there that want to push him into a bad spot, want to see him fail, want to see him struggle, and he just refuses to give up. That's what makes me choked up. This is what it's all about. No matter who you are, what you do in life, how old you are, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, this is what life is about. It's about facing the challenge and refusing to quit and overcoming the odds no matter what. And that is what JLin is all about. And that's a huge reason why people have so much respect for him. He's been dissed and dissed and dissed and dissed and put under pressure and stressed. And he just won't quit. Not only won't he quit, he comes out swinging and puts up a game like this. It's like the movie Linsanity. You would not believe this if you didn't see it with your own eyes. Jeremy wasn't great in this game in the fourth quarter, and he did have one little tiny turnover bundle. It doesn't matter. I don't want to hear anybody say anything. I don't care. I don't care about the starting sting. I don't care. This is a special night. We're not going to mess it up. I want to talk about all of that. JLin dominated this game for a good portion of the game. And honestly, some of the times when he didn't dominate is because James Harden was holding on to the ball a lot. I'll just put it that way because I want this video to be nice. Somebody got on me on Twitter earlier today for being a bit too critical or negative because I was responding to something that a writer said about Jeremy Lin fans. And I'm going to keep this video positive. Jeremy was amazing in this game. He's hitting three-pointers. He's making great passes. He's driving to the rim. He's blocked Danny Granger's shot in transition. Danny Granger's like 6'7". I mean, you got to see the highlights. Of course, I will put information about the highlights in the video description below the video player. It was incredible. And again, I will just to give a little bit of nod to reality here. George Hill did pretty well against Jeremy, the opposing point guard. Maybe he wouldn't have done as well against Patrick. That's possible. Patrick played well in the minutes that Patrick played. Again, I'm not going to go over every single stat and everything. I'll include the box score stuff because I don't want to ruin this video. This is not about that. This is about Jeremy, and it's about Taiwan, and it's about what Jeremy means and what this event means to people. Again, going off of the video that I made earlier today. That's what I want to talk about. That's why I'm emotional, because of just what this means. And how this is going to affect people, how it is affecting people. It's great. It's just wonderful to see this. And maybe I'm getting soft in my old age here. I wouldn't get emotional about something like this maybe 10 years ago, but now I get emotional about it at age 41 because you get a little bit older, get a little more mature, and you realize you're not going to see things like this all the time. You better appreciate it while it's here. And you better take it all in when you see it. There is not going to be a ton of people like Jeremy Lin. So, you better enjoy it while it's around. And I enjoyed this completely. And I know all of you guys did too. Saw it. If you didn't see this game, you need to see it. There will be, maybe NBA TV will replay it. Maybe there's, I don't know. I don't want to suggest anything, but there might be ways for you to see it on the internet. Let me just put it that way. The crowd was incredible. I am absolutely positive that I saw two people at least from Lynn Garden. And I want to say they were Eva Shu and I think Flora. I know them because I've seen them in pictures before, and they dress up in Lynn jerseys, and they have like little like hats that are almost like a wolf head. And I've seen them do this before, and the camera showed them, and it was awesome. That's why I said that this is why I'm emotional too. This is everything coming together. Jeremy playing great, Jeremy being in Taiwan, Jeremy being able to play in front of some of his biggest fans, people that we've talked with that have helped us out, that I know personally. This was the culmination of the dream. And because of how Jeremy played, it was a perfect dream. It was a perfect dream. The overview of this game, Houston started out strong. Indiana came back, and Houston was able to kind of hold on at the end. And that's good. It's that, the bench played well, even though Jeremy wasn't coming off the bench. Patrick was, and other people were. A big reason why the bench was better was because Francisco Garcia was back. So now you have a bench that can consist of either Jeremy or Patrick, Francisco Garcia, Omri Caspi, and now you're still waiting on, you still have Omar Ashik on the bench who's not healthy. So if the bench can play like this, you're going to have one unbelievable team, and you can see it coming together. And I started this video late because I was live tweeting the post-game press conference, which was Kevin McHale, Jeremy, Indiana coach Frank Vogel, and Paul George. And what was I going to say? I lost my point for a second. Paul George was talking about how much pressure Houston's offense puts you under. It's as I said, with when we talk about Jeremy and Patrick, they're both playing unbelievably well. Remember, coming into this season or coming into the training camp, it's like, well, maybe Houston's point guard spot's not going to be that good. Well, now it looks like the greatest point guard rotation in the history of the league or something like that, because both of these guys are playing unbelievably well. Jeremy did everything tonight. He hit shots. He got layups. He had a steal and a dunk. He hit three-pointers. He had great passes. He had an incredible block shot. He got steals. He did everything. And the crowd ate it up. The crowd was incredibly important to the atmosphere of this game. They were just dying to root for Jeremy and for him to do well, and that's what happened. And then in the fourth quarter of the game, Coach McHale put Jeremy back in near the end of the game, and he put him back in so that Jeremy could come out of the game and get a standing ovation. And that's exactly what happened. Jeremy fouled somebody. He came out, a standing ovation, and Francisco Garcia went to greet him. And that was really classy. And look, I just want to say this. We've said a whole bunch of things about Kevin McHale. That was a classy move by him all the way. Give him tons of credit for that. And Coach McHale, after the game, I mean, he just couldn't stop praising Jeremy. Basically said, look, he felt bad for Jeremy because he said half the world's rooting for Jeremy, and so Jeremy wants to perform to that. He's putting crazy amounts of pressure on himself because he knows how many people are rooting for him. I tell you, that's a lot of pressure. As what we've talked about before, I talked about in the earlier video today, because Jeremy is one of the only, if not the only, player of Asian heritage in the NBA right now, and Asia is exploding in terms of popularity in basketball. I mean, it's all on Jeremy. All this pressure's on Jeremy to be Linsanity every single night. And that's basically what Coach McHale said. And, you know, I looked at it from a little bit of a different perspective this time. I thought, you know what? Yeah, I get it a little bit more. Maybe the team, you see this guy, and he's struggling with this. And you know how hard it is, and he's being on himself, and it's just eating him alive, which is what we heard from Jeremy in his testimony. And you almost like, there's almost like a nurturing thing where you kind of want to protect him, just to kind of help him out because it's just overwhelming. And, you know, I looked at Coach McHale a little bit differently tonight. And believe me, I know that there are going to be people that say this was fake and Kevin McHale's only doing this because he got criticized in Manila. And look, that all might be true, but Kevin McHale said, look, I enjoy Jeremy. Jeremy is a great young man. He's fun to be around. And he also said Jeremy is playing great in practices. He said, Jeremy, the way that Jeremy played tonight in the game is exactly what we've seen in practices for the last 7 to 10 days. The other day, Kevin McHale said that the first couple days of training camp, Jeremy didn't look good for whatever reason. I don't know why, but he wasn't doing well. And then he said after that, then he's been playing like incredibly well. So I kind of I don't know. I felt better about Coach McHale tonight than I have in a very, very long time. Now, Jeremy's not starting, whatever, might not get happy, but, I just saw it from a little bit of a different perspective. You see it from the perspective of how much pressure Jeremy is under. Not just from his fans, but from doubters and people that don't want him to succeed. And he's got to deal with all this. But what McHale said is that Jeremy's in a comfortable place now mentally, and that's, we talked about that. That's what's so good. He's finally in that place. If he can just stay in that place, he's going to be fine. Because what you saw tonight was how much you forget about how much talent Jeremy has because of all this nonsense, because of all this stuff. But when Jeremy can just play, just see what he can do. He's magic on the court. Just incredible. And I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for the team. The team was supporting him. They're up, and he's hitting threes, and guys are on the bench, and they're jumping up. And I'm so happy for Taiwan. I'm so happy for Asia. I'm so happy for the Lin family. You've got an incredible son and brother and representative. As I said, that's what makes me emotional. This guy just, it's unbelievable. He just does it over and over and over again. I was concerned about this game. I was. How's he going to do? And all the announcers talked about it. The coaches talked about it. Both coaches talked about it out to the game. Man, Jeremy was under pressure. Boy, did he step up to it again. This is who Jeremy Lin is. That's why I'm not worried about him. I want everything to go well. I want him to start and everything, but I'm not worried about him. If he is able to maintain his calmness and continue to improve the way he is clearly improving, which McHale said after the game, he just keeps improving, he's going to have an excellent career. He's going to have an excellent career. And he's done everything that's been asked of him to do. And it all came together tonight. It all came together tonight in just a wonderful, life-affirming kind of a way. This is the type of thing that you watch. You watch a movie. You watch something that makes you feel good about humanity. That's why I'm emotional. It's like, oh man, you just don't expect it to really happen, but it happens. This is what Linsanity 1.0 was all about. This magical, unique, transcendent feeling of goodness and the rising above of all of the just the false limitations and people having certain perceptions of what Jeremy was able to do, what people like Jeremy are able to do, athletics and different things, and it's just incredible. And tonight was just like that. That's why I'm so touched by it, because it was just like, wow, this is real. And I'm watching it. And the people in Taiwan get to experience it. And Jeremy's doing it again. He's doing it again. And everybody's talking about Linsanity on NBA.com. And Linsanity lives up to the hype in Taipei. Darn right he did. That's our guy. That's why we like Jeremy Lin so much. And we look up to him. And he's a role model. and people are so moved by the Linsanity film and by the story, because this is what we want to be. And he shows us that we can be it, and this is possible. And you can be a Harvard graduate and be in the NBA and still be a good person and roll with the punches and overcome the doubters and rise to the challenge. This is like too good to be true, but it's true. And that's what makes it so amazing, and that's why it touches me. Like I guess the soft old man I'm becoming. It's just, you will not witness many events like this in your lifetime, or many stories like this. And I'm just privileged to be able to be a part of this in some small way, and to be able to connect to his fan base. And because I know how much this means to many of you, what this is, how this breaks all of the pigeonholing and the false stories and the narratives, and I'm happy for you because of that. It makes me feel good, and I want to share that with you. And that's what we're doing with this. This is what Jeremy allows us to do, and it's just a wonderful feeling. You know, there are things in life that you know when you experience them, they're very, very bad. They're not good. And you know it when you feel it. But there's things in life that are incredible and wonderful and beautiful, and you know it when you experience it. And that's what this was tonight. And that's a lot of what Jeremy is. And it is a lot of pressure. But he's finding the balance now. He's finding the balance now, so that he can manage it and be able to just live his life and maximize his performance while not being emotionally drained and trying to live up to Linsanity 1.0 every single night to such an extent that he's losing a bunch of weight during the season. He can't sleep. He's crying. And all of this. And that's a very difficult process. A very, very difficult process. If you're ever going through any of that, if you're ever going through intense amounts of pressure, that's what he went through. But now, he's in a better place. He said it after the game. He said, I'm just going to, I don't know if this was Linsanity tonight, because one of the reporters asked him, was this Linsanity? And he's like, Linsanity was a very special thing. And this was, said, I enjoyed myself out on the court, and I want to enjoy myself on the court this season. In other words, it doesn't have to be Linsanity 1.0, and I'm not going to worry about it. This was a great night. He had fun on the court. He said his teammates had fun, and that's it. That's how you step away from the pressure. Step away from putting yourself under pressure. It's like somebody that's studying meditation or something like that, and they are achieving a higher level of centering or peace or Zen or whatever. He's getting better at that, and you can see it. And it's awesome. It's just awesome to watch. Jeremy hit a three-pointer very early in the game. Coach McHale said that they set him up for that shot, and he nailed it. So in the middle of the first, he got a steal, and he drove to the rim I think it was in the half court, and Roy Hibbert, the center for Indiana, goaltended the shot. Goaltending means you can't touch the ball at certain times. If you put up a layup and it has reached the top of its height before going down towards the rim, you can't touch it while it's going down. If you put up a layup and it hits the back of the backboard, or you put up a shot and it hits the backboard, you can't touch it after it goes to the backboard. So that's basically what Roy Hibbert did. He touched the ball once it was going down. Jeremy made some excellent plays on defense. He was able to draw fouls on Indiana. Several different types of fouls, like on illegal picks, which means that Jeremy was getting around the person setting the pick. He was setting guys up for shots. Some of them were missed shots, but he was just getting guys great shots. Again, he was just doing tremendous on offense. He, late in the first, got a great layup against Roy Hibbert. He was fouled on the call. They didn't call the foul, but he scored the ball. And then also late in the first, he hit a very, very deep, far away three-pointer with the shot clock running down. Just drilled it. He had 10 points by the end of the first quarter, and he was just rolling. You could see it. He was in the zone. He was 4 of 5 from the field, 10 points. Just like I said, it was on. Crowd knew it. Both teams knew it. He knew it, and he was loving it. And it was just great to watch. Early in the second, he stole the ball. I don't remember who it stole it from. I think the ball actually went to Patrick Beverly. Patrick passed it ahead to Jeremy, who dunked the ball. At this point, he had 12 points. It was 5 of 6 from the field. Again, he just was domination. He was just rolling. Also, early in the second, Danny Granger, a forward for the Pacers, I believe was in transition, was going up for a shot. Jeremy just timed it, came up behind Granger, and blocked his shot. Just threw it into like the first row seats. Just tossed it. So, I mean, Jeremy was doing everything. He's hitting threes. He's got a dunk. He's blocking shots. He's getting assists. He's getting steals. This is Jeremy Lin. This is the Jeremy Lin of Linsanity. This is the Jeremy Lin that we saw in New York, and it's the Jeremy Lin that we saw several times last year against San Antonio, against Oklahoma City in the regular season, several other times. Jeremy's capable of doing this. He needs to be able to try to do it consistently. And he's not going to be able to do it every single night to this level. And there were some difficulties for him in this game. He did have a very slight little 2-turnover bundle, I think in the third or fourth quarter. And George Hill was able to have a good stretch against him. People that don't like Jeremy will talk about his plus-minus being -5 and Patrick Beverly's being +21. That's deceiving, because the Indiana Pacers in the third quarter, when Jeremy was in the game, went on a run, and it had very little to do with Jeremy. It might have had a little bit to do with him, but not much. Basically, they started drilling three-pointers against Chandler Parsons and James Harden. It had nothing to do with Jeremy. The Pacers are a very, very good team, and they're a very proud team. And they were getting mad because Houston just crushed them in Manila, and they were starting to crush them again. So basically, Indiana got upset, and they dug in their heels. And it just happened to be that Jeremy was out on the court when that occurred. So that's why I said plus-minus is not a definitive statistic, because it doesn't take into account things like that. At the end of the game, or near the end, Indiana kind of gave up. And for some of that, Patrick Beverly was on the court. And so his plus-minus looked great. even though the Pacers might not have been trying very hard, whereas they were trying extremely hard in the third quarter when Jeremy was on the court. But Jeremy did, despite whatever small challenges he had, he just was great in this game. He was incredible in this game, particularly for the first three quarters. Just putting on a freaking show. And it was amazing. It was incredible. And you definitely, again, you need to see the highlights. You need to see the game. You certainly need to see Jeremy's highlights. For sure. I'm just looking through my notes real quick here. He was getting the hockey assist, which means he passes to somebody, they pass to somebody, and that person gets the assist for the shot. But when Jeremy is in his mode, when he is in his zone, the ball moves freely. It doesn't stick. And it's not just Jeremy that does it. Everybody on the team does it. It's contagious. One guy starts playing unselfishly, everybody starts playing unselfishly. That's what happened with Linsanity 1.0. And that's the effect that Jeremy often has. Jeremy can score, but he doesn't have to score because he can set other people up. As I have mentioned before, a huge part of Linsanity that people often overlook is the assist. He's dishing to other people, and they're happy. They're getting to play. They're passing the ball. And you get a totally different type of flow to the game than what you often see in the NBA with isolations and such. It's more like something you would see with Steve Nash, or going back to the old days, Magic Johnson. It's incredible, beautiful basketball. That's what Jeremy can do. Now, he does still need to control his turnovers a little bit. One turnover was going and passing into Dwight Howard. He just kind of rushed the pass. I have to look for what the other turnovers were. The other turnovers also weren't great, but some of the turnovers Jeremy gets are because he's pushing the pace. And the announcer said during the game that McHale has said that he knows there's going to be more turnovers because he wants them to play at a fast pace. So it's going to happen. But it's not like Jeremy's just turning the ball over like crazy. It's kind of a designed thing. He does need to keep working at it, though. I remember one of the other turnovers now. So one was a pass into Dwight. That was just too high. Not an alley-oop, but just Dwight was posting up, and Jeremy rushed it. He hurried it too quick, too fast. Another one was Jeremy drove to the lane, right in the middle of the lane with his left hand, and Demo was to the right of him. I think it was Demo, and he tried to pass the ball to Demo, and Indiana knew what he was going to do, and they just intercepted the ball. And then there was one other thing that was along the same lines. I'll see if I can see it in my notes. But they weren't horrible plays. He does want to push the pace, but he does want to control this a little bit more. When he is able to control it just a little bit more, just get a couple, just one or two fewer turnovers a game, because he's making just slightly better decisions, and then it's going to be even better. And that will come. That will come. Just keeps working at it and keeps improving it. As he learns to kind of not force things too much. Just wait. Just wait. Wait until you know you can make a particular play. Jeremy had all 17 of his points through the first 3 quarters. As I said, the fourth quarter was the only quarter he didn't do really that great in. His overall efficiency number dropped slightly in the fourth quarter. And it's okay. You're not going to necessarily dominate the entire game, but he certainly dominated for the first 3 quarters. He was, without a doubt, in my opinion, the best player on the court in the first 3 quarters. And James Harden did great. He had 21 points through 3 quarters. But he wasn't quite as effective as Jeremy was. And James Harden, I think he kind of injured himself slightly. The problem for James Harden in this game, and again, I don't want to get into everything. I think it would be easier for James Harden if he would handle the ball less, because he's expending too much energy. He's handling the ball. He's shooting. He's trying to do too much. He's doing isolations. You can't do that game after game after game. And if you do it, your defense won't be good, and you're going to be susceptible to injuries. Now, hopefully he's okay. He's probably fine, man, just a little tweak. But things were much better in the first game of the preseason, where Jeremy was handling the ball more than they were in this game, where James Harden was handling the ball more. The ball was sticky. It wasn't moving. James Harden was getting turnovers. James Harden was throwing up ISO bricks. Brent Yen, I believe, either in the comments of the videos or on Twitter, said, looks like they're trying to freeze Jeremy out, meaning looks like they're trying to keep the ball from Jeremy. Well, I don't think James Harden was real eager to give up the ball tonight. I'll just say that. Again, I don't want to get negative, whatever. I think things will work much better for the team and for James Harden if he lets Jeremy handle the ball more. And I wasn't happy when I was watching it. And a lot of not positive thoughts are going through my mind about why it might be happening in terms of Jeremy not getting the ball and James Harden dominating the ball more. But, you know, you can't control everything. This is part of what Dwight didn't like about playing with Kobe, apparently. Kobe's going to get the ball in his hands if he wants it on offense, which means Kobe gets to make the decisions. You know, so if he wants to give you the ball, you're going to get the ball. If you don't want to give you the ball, you're not getting the ball. And I think you saw some of that from James Harden tonight. And because of his role on the team, because he has precedence over Jeremy, and because he is regarded as a good playmaker, he can do that. Hopefully he'll handle that responsibility well, but that's the way it is. And I think and I hope that the coaching staff will continue to work with him about that. Now, Patrick played well in the minutes that he played. He only scored like 2 points or something, but he played well. He had like 5 assists. He did a good job. He did a good job in the time that he was on the court. So, again, this team looks great at point guard, are very good. They're not perfect. Neither Patrick or Jeremy are perfect players. But you put them together in tandem, and they're very good. Certainly good enough to be a very positive effect for this team. Demo had a couple of nice plays in this game. He had one really great post-up move. So if the point guards are set up, then really what you're left with is how's the power forward going to be? How is the bench? And how is the health of guys? So I said, if you have a bench unit of Jeremy or Patrick, Francisco Garcia, Omri Caspi, Omer Ashik, and then whoever at power forward. That is a powerful lineup. That's better than many teams' benches. And so if they're able to do what they need to do at power forward, this team is... Look, they beat down Indiana twice. Indiana is a fantastic team, and they really put it on them. Indiana made a move in this game, and it might have been different if it was regular season, but you can clearly see Houston is for real. And they're not playing their best game. They can improve for sure. But they're for real right now. And that is great, particularly if you like the Rockets, and particularly if Jeremy is around on the team. So that's the overall summary here. I'm not going to get in everything. I'm not going to do full quarter by quarter. I pretty much did it there a moment ago. This is what Jeremy Lin's all about tonight. This is a summary, a encapsulation of what he is and why he is who he is, and why people are so taken with him and look up to him so much. He just comes through over and over again. And he is at his best when people doubt him. But he's come to a place in his mind where he's not worried about that anymore, apparently. He's not. He said last year he wanted to play well for his supporters, was getting a little tired of the haters. But now he's just, nope. He's just being him, and this is who he is. We've seen enough data to know this is what Jeremy Lin is. And boy, it's great. It's great from a human perspective angle, human interest story angle, and it's great as a basketball player. He has some deficiencies, but he can really play. And when he's on his game, it's magic. It's like basketball at the highest level, particularly on offense. It's captivating. And that's what this was. And so you had this incredible level of basketball in his parents' homeland and representing all of Asia and what he means to the people in Asia and of Asian heritage. And under all of this pressure, and he just came through again. Just when you think it might be slipping away, maybe they're finally going to break him this time, and he's gonna choke, and he comes up with this. That's why this guy, I want to call him a kid because he's much younger than I am. That's why this guy is so special. That's why people look up to him. They want to be like that. And because he's like that, they feel like they can be like that too. This is unique, man. This is unique. And again, I'm just so proud of him. So I said, that's why I was really choked up earlier. I'm just so happy for him. Happy for his family. Happy for his fans. And happy for all the people that relate to him and look up to him as a role model. And I'm just touched to be a part of it. This is history in the making. Jeremy is a transformative figure in history, particularly in the history of basketball, but in cultural history, he is a transformative figure. Just like David Stern said, and I talked about in the other video. He is transforming millions of people. How they perceive themselves, how they perceive what they're capable of, how they perceive themselves as sports figures, how they perceive what is possible in terms of academics and athletics. He is a catalyst, and we're watching it in real time. And 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you're going to see a whole bunch of young people or people in their 20s saying, how did you get to this level as a player? Because of Jeremy Lin. Because I watched Jeremy Lin and it hooked me. And I looked up to him and I wanted to be like him. That's what he's doing right now. And you can see it. This is why you had people gathering together in buildings and in public restaurants and stuff in New York to watch this. You remember, if you're watching Linsanity 1.0 in New York, and they'd show the people, they would have TV cameras. And it'd be a bunch of people, and I don't remember where it was, some local eatery or whatever. Bunch of people gathering to watch Jeremy in a unique way. Not in a typical way like people in a sports bar, but in a unique way because they wanted to watch Jeremy. And it goes on. It never really stopped. But now it's like, yeah, it's still here. The heart is still beating. That's what tonight was. So I said, I think it's part of why I'm emotional, because you felt like you might be kind of flickering out, but no. That's what Jeremy basically said tonight. No, it's not. I'm still here. I'm still here. And it was amazing. It was incredible. And whew, as I said, I'm just glad I could be a part of it and share it with you guys. This is special. Really special. That's it. I don't have anything else to say. I'm drained emotionally. I don't know. It's just incredible. I'm like in shock because I can't believe what I saw. Even though I've seen Jeremy do it before, it's like he did it again. Yeah, he did it again. He did it again. And when you see him do it, it's very hard to be worried about him. Even whatever happens, if he's moved to the sixth man or the bench, it's like it doesn't matter. It's almost like you're fighting an enemy that you can't beat. You can't beat Jeremy Lin. That's what it seems like. And so when you see that, you get a lot of confidence. I have a lot of confidence in Jeremy. Always have had confidence in him. As you guys know, and a lot of you people appreciate the videos I've done, particularly last year when things were very, very, very hard. And everybody was conducting funeral rites, basically, for Jeremy and his career. Well, we weren't doing that. I certainly wasn't doing it because I believed in him. But even you have doubts and all this stuff, and then this happens. So when it happens, It's hard not to be confident. It's hard not to be confident. Okay, that's it. I'm actually going to try to stop now. This is one of those things where it's so great you don't want to stop talking. You just want to pinch yourself and make sure it's real, that it really happened. You can't stop talking about it because it's overwhelming emotionally. Just great. That's all I can say. Okay. Thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below. I will try to come down to the comments. I got to get some sleep. It's like 6 in the morning here, the East Coast of the United States, on Sunday, October 13th, 2013, which means it is about 6 p.m. on Sunday, October 13th in Taipei, Taiwan. Once again, I am PFV, Paul Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We do strive to be the #1 JLin YouTube fan channel. I'm very interested to hear what you guys said, what you guys saw, what you think, what people feel that were there. I know a number of you got to see this live. Certainly, you got to see it and witness it in Taiwan. I'm really eager to hear those people. How did you feel? Anybody that watched this, not just people in Taiwan, did this affect you like it affected me? It's had a very powerful effect on me. It just stunned me, but in a good way. And so I'm eager to hear what you guys think about that. Okay, that is it for now. I hope everybody's doing great, day or night, wherever you are around the world when you're watching this video. I hope all is well for you. Talk to you soon. Until then, take care of yourself.